This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
AB Supply, this is Richard.
Hey, Richard. I just talked to one of the other representatives, and I just watched a very good production of a sex bolt that you did on YouTube. Thank you. My problem is how you explained it. That is the one that you explained. I watched. It's for a 1 3/4 inch thick door. What I've been looking for, I've got commercial. This is for church. Is this for church? And the doors outside diameter are 1.8 inches, 1 inch 800 thousandths doors, and I cannot find anything for commercial doors 1 and 800 thousandths for like sex bolts, because as you explained, you drill that 3/8 hole and pound it in, and it's supposed to sit to the inside edge of the door on the inside to the outside edge of the door, and then your bolt secures that on the door when you put it on the door.
I've got to answer the other phone. Stand by one moment. Okay, sir. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. I'm burning you're burning your time.
No. You're not at all. That client who called, they dump they back up a dump truck of cash to this business every year. So when they call, I take their call immediately. So anyway, I'm all yours.
Okay. So what do I do for a 1.8 inch thick door for a sex bolt? Do I buy the 2 1/4 and grind them down to fit my needs?
I wouldn't, because then first of all, you've got to ask yourself if the thickness of a kick plate, which is 50 thousandths, is going to matter. And if it is, then I would get a couple of washers with the proper OD and ID, and I would dab some E6000, generic adhesive on there and be done with it.
Okay. Well, these are for plate. These are for plates that are going to go on a door. That basically, you've probably seen them. They make a rubber dog bone now that goes on one side of the door. With all this craziness that's going on in this world for schools, and if you have a center column, you stick them on your door. And you slide them over, which holds the door a 1/2 inch open. If there's a major emergency, you reach over and pull this dog bone, which immediately closes the door. So and we don't have those center columns on on the church. We have 2 doors that butt together. And I want to put a flat plate on one edge of the door so this will hold the door a 1/2 inch off from closing. So it's going to get whacked all the time from door pressure of a 3070 door with a door closer on it. And that's why I wanted to put not through bolts, but I wanted to put the sex bolts on the door.
What are you attaching to the door?
A piece of 2 by 10 gauge, probably 2 by 3 inch. Piece of stainless steel flat plate to the inside edge of the door.
To the edge of the door or to the inside face of the door?
Inside edge of the door. So when the door closes on that dog bone, it holds it a 1/2 inch open. It's just a safety thing. And I'm trying to make the sex nut be the through bolt, but it's like you explained in the video, it's holding on the inside edge of the door to the outside of the door, so it makes a very, very solid piece of metal to hold to a flat plate.
The edge of the door is the 1.8 dimension of the door. That's the edge.
Outside to outside of the door is 1.8.
Okay, so this plate, this 2x3 plate, stainless plate you're attaching, is it on the edge of the door?
It's on the not on the edge of the door, but on a flat plate of the door. The flat of the door.
Where's the flat of the door? Is it the face of the door or on the edge of the door?
Yeah, excuse me, the face of the door.
And on the inside. Now, what purpose does this plate serve? To keep the door ajar?
Yes. Yeah, that I don't know if you've seen them at all, but they make a device for schools now that looks like a rubber, looks like a dog bone, and it slides. And when you want to keep the door ajar, you slide it out. And when your door closes, and if that plate was there, it keeps the door ajar a half an inch. And if you have a major emergency, you pull that dog bone real easy, anybody, in the facility, and it goes into a lockdown.
What is this item called so I can look at it online?
It's called Door Block. The website's called doorblock.com. VLOK too. One word, DOORBLOK.com.
Take a look at this thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's designed around for a center column on a double door or any door.
What's that door block made of? Just heavy neoprene?
Rubber. It's made out of like rubber. It's pretty tough.
I believe it. Boy, that didn't take a lot to make one of those. I've got a CNC machine. How many thousands do you need? But the piece of architectural metal that you're going to attach to the door, what purpose will that serve?
Holds the door. If you look at it, how it holds it off on the door stop, on a normal door, this is going to create a door stop.
Any of your doors fire rated?
It's a 60-year-old church. They're steel doors, 18 gauge, double doors.
The answer is yes.
So they probably a fire rated door. The church is a poured in place concrete structure.
Yeah, I'm just saying this would, if they're fire rated, your inspector's not going to like to see this. So the thing's this door block is going to wrap around the outside stem of the knob. It's going to curl to the inside face of the door. And again, your 2x3 piece of metal, what is it doing?
It's if you on your face side of the door on the inside.
Yeah.
When you close the door,
yeah,
it makes the door stop.
But what's the purpose of that if you're going to use this door block?
Because I don't have a door block. I don't have a door stop on the door. These are double doors.
Oh, you have a pair of doors. Oh, I get it. Yeah.
I have a pair of doors with no stop on them.
Okay, I understand. You've got a double door. I didn't understand that till just now. You have a pair of doors.
That's all right. So I'm going to take that piece of flat steel and put it on the flat edge of the door on the inside and use structural ideas, use structural sex bolts to make it a very sturdy install on it. This like they do on doors. They've been doing on doors lately, so people can't pick through a door. They put that put the exterior.
That's called an astragal.
On the door.
Yeah, it's called an astragal.
Okay.
Why don't you just get some, like what would be a coupling nut, and have someone weld them to the back side of your plate, and have it cut to the right length that will emulate that? I mean, I can have those custom fabricated.
Yeah. It'd just be easier for me. This is a church crowd.
Well, yeah, but you are literally spending a king's ransom about 50 thousandths of an inch. So that tells me you really want to do it right. So
yeah.
So I can you can sketch the plate, and I can have them weld onto the back of the stainless 2 threaded posts at the exact length that are required. Now, it's not 1.8. That's not what you need. You need the inside dimension, which is probably going to be, depending on you said 18 gauge, so that's 47 thousandths or 50 thousandths. So you really need 1.7 is really what you need is the length.
Oh, I know. I know what you're trying to do now. But your bolt would be on the outside of the door then.
That's your problem to solve.
Yeah, if you put those plates on there.
That's the next. Well, so what you do is we make what I'm talking about right now, but then you make the same thing, but you offset and countersunk 2 holes. Well, you would offset 2 holes so that when you mounted them back to back, you would have one piece overlapping the seam between the 2 doors. But at that point, that would work perfectly. You would see nothing from the outside. You'd have probably countersunk washers and 1/4-20 stove bolts on the inside, and you'd have a little overlap to act as a stop. Now, if you could get past the entire problem of the through bolt being the right length for the shoulder, you could literally install the flat piece of steel, just use an astragal, 1.5 wide, 84-inch tall, cut it to length, and you drill and tap into the edge of the door, because if you do it close enough to the edge of the door, there's a lot more steel there than there would be 2 inches off the edge of the door.
Okay.
Or what you could do is drill holes into the door and then plug weld.
Okay. Yeah, I thought about
clamp it, drill holes, plug weld.
Yeah, I was thinking about drilling and tap, but I'm just worried about that door closing hard on that flat plate all the time.
You're going to run 14 screws through there. Plus, there is a stop on the header of the frame, so the doors cannot swing to a negative degree. It's going to stop. And what you're applying to it, it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of there just for the ride.
Oh, I've got you. Okay.
That's my opinion. I love your idea. I would prefer to keep as little encroaching into the space as possible. I'm thinking someone's going to crack the crown of their Rolex walking through it, or catch their shirt sleeve on it, that kind of business. But that's cool. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you need is a guy with a press brake, a welder, and a trip to a fancy hardware store. Yeah.
Well, I don't have one. I'm on the central coast area of California in San Luis Obispo. And we have a hard enough finding doctors.
Yeah, or just getting your order right at DoorDash.
Yeah, well, the door guys. I got a door guy that did this door that I'm working on right now. This got finished replacing because we had somebody come to church, went to the office, and he was homeless and didn't like the answer. Then he went over to church while church was going on and didn't like the answer. We do have day church, and walked in the church, didn't like the answer. The priest went out very, very mad, kicked the 16 gauge door so hard he bent it in 6 inches in the bottom, and it took us $12,000 to replace the door.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
No, that was like, oh my God.
I'm also not very religious, but what I would say there, that wasn't very Christian of him.
Yeah. So I just got, real quick, spent $120,000 state of California grant on safety for the church. 32 new cameras, all brand new Van Dorpen door locks put on, and Van Dupen, and all new lighting system for the church. So it's very, very well lit. But when you have someone like that, or someone walk in on a service, we're very, very leery of what's going on in the United States.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so bad. We used to be able to keep churches open all the time. Now they're locked like Fort Knox.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's
all righty. Well,
yeah. Let me know how it turns out. Again, my name is Richard.
Thank you, Richard. And that other piece, I'm still trying to imagine with no no visible signs of it on the outside door, don't you have to drill all the way through to be able to bolt it to the door? Which you were talking about?
Yeah, so we make back-to-back pull plates, like 10-inch center to center, 1-inch bar stock, typical pull plates that you're going to see on schools, churches, etc. So sometimes what the manufacturers want, what the clients want, is they want those plates through bolted. There's no obvious way that that's done. And what they do is they braze or weld mounting posts to the back side of the exterior plate. You drill the 2 holes through the door, those posts go through, and then you run your machine bolts from the inside. And then you put your pull handle over the cone head of those bolts and tighten it with a set screw. Super concealed and very heavy duty.
Okay. Now I'm getting them. I'm getting that. But what about pinching the door at that point then when you throw those all the way through? Where
it doesn't pinch the door.
You don't get it pinching.
It doesn't, because the length of the post is the correct size. You don't drill the same diameter hole on both sides of the door. You do a 3/8 on the outside, a 1/4 on the inside.
Okay, so form of a sex bolt with a post on it. It's
exactly what it's the same concept of not crushing the door down.
Without crushing the door down, then you put something up.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I could still do it the other way with a sex bolt, but there's nothing that thick unless I took a 2 1/4 inch sex bolt and drill the hole and ground it down to fit perfect through the outside.
You don't want to inside. You don't want to do that because you're going to cut all your threads off. It's the depth of the tapping that's occurred there is going to be insufficient once you mostly cut it all off.
Even if you cut 200 thousandths off of it?
You're not cutting 200 thousandths. You're cutting basically 7/16. You're cutting way more off of it than that.
Okay. Alrighty.
Or 3/8 at least.
Yeah, at least 3/8. And they're not, and those sex bolts aren't tapped all the way in.
No. Those end probably 3/8 down would be my guess.
Oh, I've got you. Okay. Alrighty. What would it cost me to come up with that, with a solid bar that goes on the outside to the inside device? Yeah, I only need 4 of them. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them.
Yeah, I'd want to get the factory to quote me something like that. I send me an email, the sales email on our site, and I'll quote that for you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All righty. So, and what do you call those?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not. You know where you see these things when you have the electromagnetic door holders. They have rectangular plates with mounting posts welded. Well, they're sometimes plastic, but posts mounted to the back of them, so you can through bolt electromagnetic holders. Through bolt mounting plates would be kind of my guess, what I would call it.
Through bolt mounting plates. Okay,
yeah.
I'll look that up when I get off the phone with you, Richard. Hey, Richard, thank you very much, and you did a great video on that. So, I don't want to say I'm a tinker, but I'm ex-technician, and I deal with building stuff all the time. I'm retired, but when I worked for a living, I built weird stuff all the time. So I built communication systems anywhere from digging to building towers. I was a one-man crew for 30 years for a company with no education. So I had a lot of fun. Richard, thank you very, very much.
Yeah, you don't figure out the wrong way to do it until you do it the wrong way. That's for sure. So that's how we learn.
Right. That's I'm in a learning curve right now, Richard.
Yes, sir.
So, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll talk to you in the future. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
All right, let's take a look at this door block thing. I don't believe I've ever heard of it. And, okay, door block plus lock block. Home, door block, lock block, pricing, shipping. Okay, so door block is what the gentleman said. And yeah, okay, let's... Door block, so a piece of neoprene that's been cut, and it's just a strap. It's obviously yeah, obviously NFPA 80 and NFPA 101 would likely find these products to cause a deficiency on the fire or egress requirements. Just word to the wise. Classroom doors, definitely not okay for fire rating or for egress. None of this is compliant. None of it. If it was, I would imagine it would say not to knock it because someone has an ingenious solution. I don't know the door block advantage. A simple solution to reduce the distraction of classroom doors. Works on all standard doors with knobs and handles. Hangs from interior knob when not in use. No installation required. Just to prevent the door from latching, I guess? Oh, no. It's probably to prevent the door from being pulled open would be my guess. You know, when you look at this photo, you're probably thinking it's just preventing the door from latching, but probably what's occurring is on classroom doors, you know, and this is probably a mortise lock from the mid-20th century would be my guess. Probably what's happening here, and it may be obvious to you, but it's just really not to me right off the top. I'm going to say that what they're doing is door, and you've got your knob, you've got a jamb. Let's just imagine that it's single rabbit. Probably what they're doing is strapping that piece of neoprene here and hooking it here so that if you're on the outside you can't pull the door open. So you got to unhook it here in order to get that to release. And then you probably, as they say, you hang it here when it's not in use. That's probably what they're doing. Yeah, I get it. It's certainly going to prevent someone from pulling it open. However, you know, I would personally think I could probably just peel that off and pull the door open. And I'm not knocking this. I love the ingenuity of it. It's a 1/4 inch thick and 60 durometer. It's probably rather dense. I'm not sure what 60 durometer would feel if I tried to pinch it, but it's probably extremely dense. So probably making it hard to pull that little end off and get it off the rows. That would probably be a challenge. Now, so anyway, back to what the client was originally doing. It wasn't obvious to me that he had a pair of doors. I now understand. So what he wants to do, his whole thing was, that whole phone call was about the fact that sex bolts, which operate like this, the length of the sex bolt is made for the X dimension. Assuming you have 1 3/8, 1 3/4, 2 1/4. And by the way, that is 1.75. The client's saying that his door is 1.8. .05 is the thickness of a kick plate. Really thin. Nonetheless, when you tighten that screw on the inside, you'll deflect that door ever so slightly. So what I was recommending to the client was He obviously wants a piece of metal like this, overlapping here. And I was basically suggesting a piece of metal that has a couple of posts welded to the back of it. And then you'll have a second one that's got a countersink, which is not practical. You'll probably use a countersunk washer or a finish washer and a machine screw to go in there. Let me show you what I was referring to in terms of this at Rockwood and other manufacturers. I just thought of Rockwood first. And I don't exactly remember the part number, but we'll have it here in a moment. Admittedly, our site's been running a little slow, or it could be my computer actually. I think it's my site running, my computer running slow. Okay. Accessories catalog. Right there is the concept. Custom size plate. These mounting posts are made for the proper length that they need to be made, and then you'll use this concept. Now, what I was mentioning to the client is you would have one plate here, and then you would offset the holes so that you could have that hanging off the edge as required. They're both 2-inch or 3-inch wide, whatever it is. They're just offset. Actually, you would make them the same way, and you would put one this way on this side of the door, then on the other side of the door you'd have it this way. You would just flip it over 180 degrees. That's how I would end up doing that, making two the same and flipping one over. So at the end of the day, was this a bunch of nonsense most likely? Yeah, probably. We're really overthinking it. But at the end of the day as well, the aspect of concocting something in your head and giving life to that idea, it really starts with the overthinking aspect. You come up with a way to do it, and then you say, well, what if I do it this way? And what problems will I encounter? So I applaud the gentleman for overthinking it. I personally wouldn't be too concerned over through bolting it. Plus, what I had said to him, hollow metal doors, depending on the door construction, there's more steel in here than there is over here. 1/2 inch over, 2 3/4 inch over, less steel. So you might be able to just drill and tap. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Commercial doors are outside about 1.8 inches. So if you go from outside to inside, like you explained in them, they're not going to be 1.8 inches at all. But I'm trying to find sex bolts to do what you explained in that video, and everybody that I've seen out there for sex bolts, they're all designed around 1 3/4 inch doors. Do you guys carry sex bolts for those at all? Or the longest one I've found is 2 inches, and you've got to cut down a little bit. And then I realized, looking at stuff last night and listening to your stuff, agricultural sex bolts have a deeper thread in them than binder bolts. Binder bolts are just designed to put paper on them, a little short screw. Agricultural sex bolts have a deeper thread so you can use a longer bolt in them. So if you needed to cut one off a little bit, you have a little more thread to work with. Am I making sense?
Sure.
Do you have deeper sex bolts?
No.
That I can use to the 1 3/4? Because in your video you explained that you want it to butt from the outside to the inside, so you end up with structurally, the bolt is actually holding it to the outside, inside, and making what you're bolting up extremely strong.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've got these little, you looked it up last week, those little rubber devices that are holding our doors open a 1/2 inch, and I made a plate that'll be 1 inch into the door, 1/2 inch centered, so 1/2 inch off the edge of the door. I'll go all the way through, and then put a sex bolt and bolt them down. So and then there'll be a little 1/2 inch, like a door stop, on the edge of the door.
Oh,
I'm creating a door stop.
Right. Yeah.
Do you guys carry anything?
No, I don't have sex bolts for a door that's 50 thousandths thicker than standard.
Okay. What do people do then? Because commercial steel doors are, if you walk up the commercial steel door, there's a commercial steel door.
Yeah,
they're all 1.8 inches.
No, they're not.
They're not? Oh,
No,
okay.
They're 1 3/4
1 3/4, okay. Well, our church is 60 years old, and like I told you last week, they bent one, and then all the rest of them, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 doors that are 1.8 inches thick.
Yeah.
Is that just a particular, I haven't called my door guy, but is that just a particular thickness of a particular door?
I'm your door guy.
Pardon me?
I'm your door guy. So it could be. I mean, if the doors are super old and they're steel stiffened at a very heavy gauge, like 14 gauge, they're not going to be 1.75 anymore. They're going to be thicker. Now, the fact of the matter, however, is that a door like that, you're not going to need to sex bolt because the door will be reinforced for the hardware. The issue is you're trying to install something onto the door that that there is very likely no reinforcement in that area. So that's the problem. You're trying to put, I think, an applied stop, if I recall. Yeah, I
don't think there's any reinforcement in that area at all. Then I'm going to try it. I don't think a 1032 or a number 10 sheet metal screw would be strong enough because it's going to be hitting on that lipped edge all the time.
Yeah, no doubt. I definitely agree that you're going to need, it'd be good to have solid mounting. It's just simply the bottom line. And, oh boy. And,
even on your guys' site, you've got that, I think the company you guys deal with, CRI. But I've found some quarter with 1024 screws 2 inches long, but I don't think they're architectural. I think they're binding posts.
They may be. Binding posts are not. You'll see binding posts used in possibly mail slot applications and door chain applications.
Yeah.
It's possible that you'll see that. What most people do is just through bolt and grommet, not everything. Now, because you've got that plate, that 2 inch by 3 inch plate, if I recall correctly, you might be able to just simply drill a much larger hole than install a piece of, say, aluminum bushing cut to the right length and that may bolt up to it may make contact with the inside face of your interior stop, and then the rest of the interior stop makes contact with the door itself. So it may not move. It's just, this is tricky business what you got going there.
Yeah. Unless I just chucked up a piece of steel in a lathe and made my own.
Well, yeah, no, we can, with the right tools and the right desire and the right budget, you can do anything you want. Yeah,
yeah. Well, I'm an ex-machinist of 50 years ago, and I have a friend that has a lathe and a mill, and stick it up in a lathe and make a mill, or stick up a lathe and take a bolt with a bolt head on it and leave the bolt head on it, but machine it down and bore out the center of it. And slide it through the hole and make your own 6-bolt.
Yeah, if a $100 bolt made sense, I would absolutely encourage you to do it. And I think that's neat. I'd like to see a video of it being made.
Okay. It doesn't matter. And they, on the church themselves, they added these crosses on the doors years ago. And when this guy bent the door, I had to figure out how to get it back up, because when they installed it, they originally installed it flat, and these guys put the doors up. I didn't know how it went up originally, so I had to make a paper template and glue all these brackets with with silicone on the door and tape it to the door exactly what it was, and pre-drill holes. Then take the brackets off the paper and the silicone and install them on the door. But in the meantime, they had taken stainless steel quarter 20s and round-headed them and left just enough head on them to put a wrench on them. And I could do the same thing with this homemade 6-bolt. Not worry about a slot, just leave enough quarter 20 or 5/16 head on it, round it off, and leave enough meat on it to put a crescent wrench on it.
Right.
So I'm thinking out loud. What I did for 40 years, I built and designed all kinds of different communication systems, from building towers to wireless to building walls, closets, whatever needed to be done to build a communication system. So, all righty, Richard. Well, I took enough of your time. Thank you. And I will, if I make something, I will send you a picture of whatever I make.
Sounds like a plan, and thank you very much for calling.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.